one can find captivating and compelling narratives detailing how detectives pursue most notorious serial killers. These cases often involve extensive months or even years of meticulous detective work. However, the forthcoming story deviates from the norm. A sudden surge in ruthless killings sets off a frantic police pursuit across the Australian Outback to apprehend the murderer before striking again. The vast emptiness of the Australian Outback, a unique and ancient landscape scarred by meteorites, ice age, earthquakes, and shaped over millions of years by the elements, presents striking contrasts of light, color, and form, giving it an eerie, mystical, and primeval beauty. Yet it remains a harsh, brooding, lonely, and unforgiving place where only the fittest endure. Minds and bodies are pushed to the limit, tortured by scorching heat during the day, and plunged into bitter cold at night. In this desolate land, a man can escape human civilization, but may also succumb to overwhelming solitude and potentially descend into madness from loneliness. This region is known to the indigenous people as the Never Never, a land influenced by ancient and powerful spirits of both good and evil. Marcus Bullen, a former deputy mayor, and his family embark on a peaceful camping trip, enjoying the unspoiled beauty of the territory. Little do they know that their tranquil world is about to be shattered. As the narrative unfolds, the madman executes a chilling plan, leaving two innocent victims brutally murdered, their identities erased in a pointless attempt. The story takes a dark turn as the killer attempts to destroy all evidence of the crime, setting their car ablaze and leaving behind a scene that would haunt investigators. The police, faced with the challenge of solving this horrific crime, are met with crucial clues at the murder scene, providing a starting point in their pursuit of justice. As the investigation intensifies, the hunt for the serial killer unfolds, creating shockwaves across the top end. The narrative builds anticipation as the killer evades roadblocks and crosses borders, leaving police with a shocking realization: they are now in pursuit of a serial killer. This is Crime Scene Archives, and today we will delve into the horrific story of Joseph Schwab, or infamously known as the Kimberley Killer. Fancy earning your virtual detective badge? Subscribe now to join our squad. Don't miss out. Warning: this video contains graphic content related to crime scenes. It is intended for educational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. In early June 1987, Marcus Mullen and his son Lance fall victim to a brutal murder in the vastness of the Australian Outback. While on a camping and fishing trip in the Northern Territory, they are unexpectedly shot in the back by an unidentified assailant. Detectives are baffled, lacking any motive for such a heinous act. Further examination of the crime scene reveals a cartridge case, fired from a high-powered .223 rifle. Ballistic tests confirm its match with one of the bullets used in the murders. The senseless killings garner widespread attention across the top end, prompting urgent police bulletins for people to be vigilant for suspicious vehicles in the area. Despite the heightened awareness, the elusive killer continues his westward journey towards the Kimberley. In Western Australia, Julian Warren, her partner Philip Walker Mayer, and their friend Terry Bolt set up camp along the Pentecost River. Blissfully unaware of the recent murders, they enjoy their time, planning to reaffirm wedding vows in a month. The killer, undetected and driven by an escalating urge to kill, crosses the border into Western Australia. Observing from a vantage point, he spots the trio packing up their campsite. In a chilling attack, the killer opens fire, targeting Julian, Philip, and Terry. While Philip and Terry manage to flee, they are pursued and eventually killed by the relentless assailant. To eliminate evidence, the killer strips the victims and submerges their bodies in the river, hoping crocodiles will dispose of the remains. Similar to the previous murders, the camping gear and clothes are placed in their vehicle, which is then set ablaze. A truck driver passing by notices the thick smoke, and from a nearby road, he observes a small four-wheel drive similar to a Toyota 4Runner driven by the killer. As Philip, Julian, and Terry fail to show up for work, a concerned workmate investigates, discovering the burnt-out vehicle at the Pentecost River campsite. Police initiate a search, leading to the grim discovery of Julian's body in the water. Roadblocks are implemented, and an elite police squad from Perth, the Tactical Response Group, is dispatched to apprehend the serial killer. The news of the chilling murders shake the local community, turning a once peaceful environment into a place tainted by fear and uncertainty. The police recognize the striking similarities with the Timber Creek murders, reinforcing the realization that a serial killer is on the loose, leaving the nation gripped in a state of heightened alertness. The tight-knit community, already grappling with trauma, is further distressed by the intrusive and probing impact of the media from the South. Reporters thrusting microphones at people on the streets intensify the distress, making it evident that the gruesome events are affecting many. Recognizing the importance of media attention, the police issue urgent radio and TV bulletins, cautioning the public to be vigilant and report any suspicious activity. The widespread alert leads to a significant decrease in the population's presence in caravan parks and hotels, with virtually nobody on the roads. Roadblocks are established across the Kimberley, deterring motorists from entering the area. Home Valley Station, plans are devised to search outlawing station homesteads and abandoned buildings. The police utilize aircraft to search for dust plumes created by vehicles on gravel roads to track potential movements of the killer. The fearful atmosphere compels residents like Diana Oliver, running the local ammunition store, to take precautions, keeping firearms accessible and even teaching others how to shoot for self-defense. The community grapples with a heightened sense of vulnerability, knowing the killer operates as a sniper, lurking in the bushes and striking unexpectedly. Back at the Pentecost River site, police discover conclusive evidence linking the current murders to the earlier ones at Timber Creek. The distinctive footprint found at both crime scenes is carefully preserved as vital evidence. Detectives now realize they are dealing with a thrill killer and urgently collaborate with police agencies nationwide to gather information. In South Australia, roadblocks are established along the border as a precaution. The police, along with the frightened community, hope for a breakthrough that will lead to the capture of the killer. However, the vast and remote nature of the North presents challenges, leaving investigators uncertain about the killer's next move. The breakthrough eventually comes when an alert helicopter pilot, Peter Luteniger, spots a camouflaged vehicle near Fitzroy Crossing. The police, armed with this information, dispatch the Tactical Response Group to the location, gearing up for a potentially dangerous confrontation. The community remains on edge, aware that the discovery could lead to the arrest of the elusive killer, providing a sense of relief and closure. The tense confrontation unfolds as the police, assisted by an overhead aircraft, closed in on the gunman's location. The individual, later identified as the Kimberley Killer, unexpectedly fires at the police aircraft. In a desperate attempt to evade the gunfire, the pilot maneuvers the aircraft while still trying to provide directions to the officers on the ground. The police, taking cover behind anthills and trees, return fire in the direction of the assailant. The police officers describe the intense exchange of gunfire. The Kimberley Killer, wearing camouflage pants but otherwise naked, fires at the police aircraft. Simultaneously, the police team retaliates, with one officer describing firing a 2-round burst. The assailant continues shooting, prompting the police to open fire in return. Despite being hit by police gunfire, the Kimberley Killer retrieves another weapon, a Ruger Mini 14, and continues firing. The police, now engaged in a firefight, describe the chaos and the constant threat of bullets flying past. The police employed tear gas grenades to disorient and flush out the assailant from his vehicle. The tense standoff reaches a critical point as the police decided to use grenades to force the assailant out of his vehicle. The plan, involving tear gas and fireworks, is intended to disorient the gunman. However, the situation takes an unexpected turn when the stockpiled ammunition begins exploding, creating additional challenges for both the police and the assailant. In a daring move, Bob Brown, a member of the police team, rushes through the smoke and flames to the Toyota, saving vital forensic evidence from being consumed by fire. As the firefight continues, the Kimberley Killer is eventually seen running through the smoke and flames. The police pilot spots him from the air, leading to a search that culminates in the discovery of the gunman's lifeless body. The Kimberley Killer is confirmed dead, and the police carefully preserve the crime scene. Subsequent investigations reveal crucial evidence, including bank books and camping gear belonging to the murder victims, confirming the identity of the assailant as Joseph Schwab. The community, initially gripped by fear, can finally breathe a sigh of relief as the terror appears to be over. The investigation into Joseph Schwab's killing spree in the Australian Outback reveals a complex and mysterious background. Schwab, a German national, arrived in Australia just 6 weeks before the atrocities began. He initially appeared to be a quiet and normal individual. However, his sudden transformation into a mass murderer leaves investigators questioning his motives. Schwab's actions, such as stripping his victims and burning their belongings and vehicles, seem more like expressions of anger than calculated attempts to conceal his crimes. Investigators struggle to pinpoint a specific turning point or trigger that led Schwab to commit such heinous acts. His background did not provide clear indicators of a propensity for violence, leaving the question of what made him snap largely unanswered. Despite thorough investigations, authorities cannot confirm whether the 5 known victims were Schwab's only targets. He had lived in South Australia previously, engaging in activities such as pig shooting and participating in a gun club in Germany. After returning to Germany, he worked as a security guard, carrying a pistol on his belt. The Kimberley Killer's reign of terror comes to an end in a police shootout, where he is fatally shot. The coroner investigation concludes that the police acted appropriately in handling the situation. Schwab's motives die with him, and investigators are left with lingering suspicions about his potential involvement in other crimes or missing persons cases. The community, relieved that the threat is over, reflects on the courage shown by the police in confronting the madman. The victims' funerals takes place, but the pain for their relatives and friends remains as the mystery of Joseph Schwab's motives and the extent of his crimes endures. Thank you for joining us on this intense journey into the mysterious and chilling case of Joseph Schwab, the Kimberley Killer. If you found this story intriguing, be sure to explore more true crime narratives on our channel. In our previous video, we delved into the unsettling crimes of Randy Kraft, a serial killer whose heinous acts shocked the nation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest true crime investigations, only here at Crime Scene Archives. Your support fuels our commitment to unraveling the mysteries that captivate us all. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and join us in the exploration of the darkest corners of the human psyche.